Einy, meeny, miny, mo. Let's talk about confidence. Confidence. Now, this is a very interesting topic, very interesting conversation. One of the bigger things that I had to come and realize in my life is that, quite frankly, certain things are only going to be understood by certain people. You needed to have gone through a certain level of things for you to comprehend what's happening on the other side. You know, and unless somebody's been through that route, unless somebody's been through down that road, they're just not gonna understand whatever you're talking about. They're not. And you could try to explain it with the best English, best language, whatever the fuck. You can try to explain things as best as you humanly and possibly can, but it will be wasted. It doesn't matter because the person just doesn't have the same fundamental base references you. They just haven't walked your path. They just haven't walked your journey. One of the bigger things that you will learn in the black pill is that it's probably a core pillar is that not everybody lives the same life. I was on TikTok and very subtly um it will give you like some sort of hope or motivational core. Some guy will be like, yo, if you want to achieve your dreams, you got to be delusional. You got to work so hard that nobody understands you. You got to stay hard. And just all this cringy, self-motivational bullshit ass advice is really meant to spark up the ego. And quite frankly, I'm just going to tell you the truth of the matter right now. If you want to achieve, if you really want to get to the place you want to get to, it has nothing to do with whether or not you're believing in yourself or not. And it has everything to do with whether or not you're skilled or understand what you're talking about. But that's even me not being telling you the full story, because it really has everything to do with the fact that, do you even have the resources to do the thing you want to do? And let's talk about resources to do what you need to do. And one of the things that I had to realize in my life as I slowly have gotten older is that confidence in us humans is not make sure. It's not given. Well, it's not something that we're just like, you're born with legs, but you're not necessarily born with confidence. That's basically what I'm saying by it's not given, right? It's something that is instilled in you. It's something that is motivated through you. It's something that is given through you, right? It's given to you, and primarily by your background, right? By your background. What type of family did you have? And family is a very interesting conversation, especially of how your brain relates to the outside environment and the type of standards that you have and the type of things that you see. Now, as I've mentioned many times here, many of us, we don't come from the best of families. We come from broken homes. We come from broken families. We come from a lot of bullshit, a lot of dysfunction, and I know dysfunction and stuff is like glorified on TV or whatever, but in reality, anybody who's been through dysfunction knows that stuff isn't great. It's fucking terrible. But it's such an interesting conversation because, like, especially for me, when I'm in certain environments and I just see just how different a human being could behave towards me, how kind some people can be, how nice they can be, and not even on some fake BS like, oh, they never made a mistake. No, just seeing somebody genuinely act proper towards you fundamentally changes your standard for accepting things. Like it just changes that. Once you meet, like one of the things I remember I used to say when I was younger, I was like, one of your problems is that you've never met cool people. You've never met cool people. You don't even know what a cool person looks like. You don't even know how a cool person behaves because you've quite frankly have been surrounded with pure and utter trash. And in combination with this, which is that I used to say when I was a kid, I used to think that like, oh, people outside in the world, they're wise. There's people out there with some sort of wisdom that I don't have. Bollocks, absolute bullshit. Let me tell you this right now. People outside here in this world are fucking animals. Just getting to the point. They are fucking animals. They are lazy. They are complacent. They are liars. They're cheaters. They're thieves. And quite frankly, there is nothing good to come from these people. And I guess I wanted to make this a separate video, but I might as well add it in here. which is that like there's this belief that oh poor people are good and poor people are so humble, and that is a load of horse crap. Absolutely not. Whether somebody's poor or rich doesn't change the fact of the fundamental fact of human nature and how it expresses itself. It's just quite simply rich person, the rich person A, or quote unquote better financially stable person, essentially just lucked into better circumstances, and poor person B just didn't luck into those circumstances. But in terms of character, in terms of who they are, there is no fucking difference, right? And when we speak about kindness and what it means and what it looks like, it's a very interesting conversation because I would describe myself as a kind person, but I also understand how this world is. You can't just be kind to everybody. Fuck no. Willy-nilly. Absolutely not. You need to understand when you should be and when you, not even should, when you can be kind to somebody. For me, quite frankly, if I can see that a young man or woman or even old, whatever, this is a person who's genuine, who's a proper human being, and such, I can find myself being kind, very generous to that person. But if somebody's some disrespectful rat of a shit, I can't be kind to that person. If that person has a history of doing some bullshit to people, I still can't be kind to those people. I still can't be. I have to just be like, gang, shout out to you. In fact, I had this basically classmate some years back actually. Guy was just a dick to me. I don't understand what the fuck his problem was. I don't understand. The guy was just so weird to me and some shit. He'd always act pissed off and annoyed at me. It was some weird shit because I never knew this guy. I never did anything to this person. And he just was fucking weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it's because whatever. I don't know. Fantastic. Anyways, long story short, I ended up leaving the school, whatever. Fast forward to this year, all of a sudden, boom, I get a message from this guy. He's like, hey man, how are you? And it's always some bullshit. People don't give a fuck how are you. They're just trying to like lube you up so that they can like eventually ask for something. And I blocked him. And I literally blocked him. If you watch one of my videos, I told you, be good to people who are good to you. Be kind to people who are kind to you. Reciprocate that to the people, pour into the people who pour into you, But the people who haven't, or the people who don't care to, the people who've shown you that, oh, you're nothing, or that you're not worth much, or any of these other things, those are people you need to discard. I'm here to debunk something, which is that in addition to this, I used to be one of these people who I was very, what you call it, I guess you could say the word scared or timid to say what I thought, to say what I believe, to say what I think, because I was scared of the fact, oh no, maybe I'm wrong, oh no, maybe I'm this. But the older I've gotten, the less I care. The more firm that I've gotten within my beliefs and understandings, that I am in fact not wrong. And even if somebody from an outside perspective could say, oh, well, actually, they're not right, not for me, at least. Like one thing I'll tell you, man, as I've really gotten older is that in this world, man, there's if you want to be success, man, it's so hard, it's so complex, but let me break it down in these parts. If you want to be loved, if you want people to like you, you need to be a little bitch, essentially. You have to be a little bitch. You got to listen to what people say. You have to basically twerk whenever they say how high. And I'm actually lying. People will not like you even if you did that. People will, because there's people out there who understand human psychology, at least subconsciously or intuitively, to the point where they know that human beings, because we are prey animals, we like feeling part of a group. We like feeling part of a people. We like being in that because it gives us a sense of pride, a sense of purpose. It makes us feel like we're people, the camaraderie you could have between people and yada, 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 and it could feel really great. It's very intoxicating, right? But then it is quite frankly not a natural thing to do for a human being to go sit alone, for a human being to go be alone, for a human being to be like, no. So that's why some people, they'll look at you like you're crazy. They'll look at you like you're wild. A lot of people, they're going to mistreat you because you're not listening and falling in part with what the group wants. But the thing is, the group is more or less centered around a person or one or two people who are hyper insecure people, who are able to get one or two, three weak people to push this entire agenda or narrative that they have. Like literally. And one of the biggest things that I had to realize as I've gotten older is that do not be of the things of this world. Do not be of the things of this world. If you are of the things of this world, it will destroy you, it will consume you. Now, obviously, there's nothing wrong with saying, I want my own car, I want my own house, I want to be able to do my own groceries. Obviously, that's fine. But I'm saying that if you obsessed and you lust and you want the things that the world offers, the validation, all this other stuff, it will leave you empty. It will leave you empty because fundamentally the people and the person in question, they don't like you. They don't give a fuck about you. They care to use you. A lot of people will use that as a string, and whenever you're not pulling on this string, you're basically useless to them, which essentially you are. And coming back to confidence, you know, getting to it, it's just that in this life, man, you gotta have some confidence about yourself. You gotta have some confidence about your abilities. You gotta have some confidence about how and where you want to get to. You gotta have some confidence on that, on you, about yourself and for yourself. Because if you don't have any type of confidence about yourself or anything, dude, none of it is ever gonna work out. I'll tell you this right now, man. Some of you guys, at least like me, you are carrying things that just other people just don't have, quite frankly. And we need to cut the bullshit of being humble or any of that shit. Whatever like, fuck being humble. Like, dead ass, fuck being humble. Humble is bullshit said to not offend insecure people. That's what people mean when they say you should be humble. Okay? There's a difference between bragging there versus, like, if somebody's just telling you out of nowhere, oh man, and I got an iPhone 18 Pro Jiggle Max. That's fucking weird. I never fucking asked, right? That's just being weird. That's just being ill. But in terms of like you just speaking the truth about yourself, people, like, some of you guys carry such an energy, carry such a, such a gift, such a light that people see it. And very insecure and small people, they really want to dim it because it's higher and brighter than everything and anything that they could ever have or have. And a lot of people work really hard. Like, one thing that I'll tell you is that people who don't have light within them are going to be the people who hate on you, are going to be the people who don't like you, are going to be the people who mistreat you, who judge you. That's who's going to do it. The people who don't have any sort of light in them to begin with. That's what I've really seen in my life. And like, one of the things too, I'll tell you about confidence, and we spoke about this. I was like, one of the problems and one of the reasons why you don't have confidence, or at least you struggle with it, is because you are around people who don't like you. Like, to the point, you are around people who don't like you, who don't care nothing about you, with people who would sell you out for a pack of gum. You're around people who couldn't give three shits about you, and that's why your human body, the human spirit, the internal linings, even if you don't like the even the physical level, your body is able to interpret these things. Human beings were very finely attuned to actions, to behaviors and stuff like that. And once you see it, believe it. I'm one of these people who'll tell you like once people show you who they are, believe them. If you try messaging or calling somebody and they don't answer or pick up or come back to you, or they treat you like a bitch, they'll come back to you after a week or whatever, dude, they're telling you a signal. If they're not answering back to your messages, they're telling you a signal. And, I guess in the past, it used to hurt me when people didn't accept me, when people didn't like me, when people, all these different things, right? Even though it's still bad by myself, I'd be like, damn, what the fuck is going on? Until I had to realize that it's just part of the game. It's just part of the human experience. And, I think like people are trying to run away, like how I did, from fundamentally very human experiences, from fundamentally very human challenges, And I always say this to you guys, man. A lot of the things that you do, a lot of the things that you try, other people don't do them things. You'd think, let me tell you what people are like, man. People right now on the weekend or even during the day, they're busy chatting to some bitch ass person that they're dating who's like insecure, some bullshit probably. You know, like sometimes you might look outside and you think that these people have such perfect outer lives because people work really hard to make sure that they look perfect for you, believe it or not. But really, you don't know what's going on over there. I had to teach myself not to be jealous or not to even, not even necessarily the word jealous, but I had to teach myself not to want the things that other people have, not their opportunities, not their quote unquote relationships, not their anything, because you don't know the full story of how that thing is being there, how that thing is getting there, how that thing is being um, done. You don't know that. You might look at somebody and be like, oh, they're in a relationship, how cool are you? You don't know that actually, once they get in the house, they're actually fighting, you know? And you don't know that. You really don't know that. A lot of these people on earth, dude, these people have such issues and problems it's beyond your comprehending. But here's the next part of the story, which is the fact that you need and you have to put yourself first. You know, this world, especially in 2026, has really showed me, made me understand a lot of things that I previously talked about, but now I understand them. Which is the fact that in this world, man, if you just let the wind blow you here, blow you there, you know, you don't have some sort of, you know, active protocol, so to speak, on what you do and why and when, you're going to get fucked up, man. You can't let people's opinions, their feelings, their thoughts, be it social media or whatever, affect you or what you do. You really can't. You need to be cognizant of these things. You know, I was on scrolling on TikTok and, you know, even a bit on Instagram. It's like, it's so easy to fall for the mental trap. It's so easy. And if you don't fall for that mental trap, you see the lie that it was, you know? And essentially, like, once you're not allowing the carrot to be dangled in front of you because you see the demon that's in front of it, or the ghost that isn't there, that's there, you realize how all of it was fake. You know, I've been saying this a lot, which is like 2027 is not going to be a great year for everyone. Absolutely not. It's not going to be a fantastic year. It's not going to be, no, not for everyone. Some people, yeah, other people, no. And one of the biggest things that I had to come to realize is just letting go and moving on. That's really the video, guys. I know it's kind of low-key all over the place, but this was really heartfelt. But I guess the point is that you need to work according to the stage in life that you're at, and also be motivated and dedicated to getting to the place you need to get to, and just being motivated by the end goal. I guess when you get these experiences with very positive or good people, it reminds you that good people in the world out there still exist. And it's very important that you come into some sort of frequent contact with them. You know, for me, like, having that whole experience, it calmed me down. I was like, at first I was always like, I was never really okay. You know, I was always on edge or something. But it really is because of how I grew up and where I'm growing up. Just the constant anger that you experience, the constant random outbursts, essentially the child neglect and endangerment and abandonment. And, you know, just how people can be so catty and stuff towards you, or so bitter towards you, you know, not caring nothing about your physical, mental health or your goals or your dreams or any of these things. And that's why I always say to you guys, you always got to take care of yourself first, regardless of what nobody else says. And it's so important that ask and you shall receive. You know how many times I've gotten things just by asking? Just by asking. Okay, I'm not saying that someone's going to say yes all the time. No. But you give them the opportunity to accept you or reject you. Ask, literally ASK, ask, and you see what happens. Ask, and you'll see what can be done for you. You might be surprised, man. You might be surprised. And essentially, these useless people, these low-level people, they're not important. And one of the funniest things that I've came to realize, as I always say, is that it will all be over before you even know it. All the people, it's such a weird thing. You can be at a certain stage and position in life right now, right this moment. And then you fast forward just a couple weeks, hell, even a couple hours, and fundamentally be somewhere different where life literally did this. It's almost like a chain, cling. You're off to the next stop. And you'll never go back. And, one of the things I also had to learn is that for you to grow and for you to be successful, or at least for you to gain some level of success, it requires you saying goodbye. It requires you cutting a lot of things. It requires a lot of growing up. It requires a lot of honesty. And one of the things I'll tell you is I'll tell you this right now. You don't have to change yourself for anybody. You have to change yourself for nobody. You have to tweak yourself, your personality, who you are. You don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to. Nothing. Not even a single bit. You're fine just the way you are. Trust me. It's the environment. It's the people. The people always nitpicking you for this or that. But really, there's nothing wrong with you, really. It's them. It's not you. And anybody who's trying to nitpick at you for this or that or this or that, that's just nothing but the devil in them. It's just the nasty, negative bitch inside of them trying to tell you to get out so you can be something more palatable for them. Fuck them. That's what we're saying around here. And, if you give yourself to this world, I've seen people fucking spend decades giving away to this world to be seen, to be loved, to be accepted. When I'll tell you, you don't want to be loved or accepted by everybody, nor can you, nor should you. And if you fall for the things of this world and the lust and the glitter and the glam, so to speak, you'll realize that what really lied on the other side was a demon. And as you look back on who you once upon a time was, you'll be like, fuck, man. You'll be so angry that you wish you could be like him or be like her. That happens to me a lot. When I look back, I'm like, fuck, man. I used to be so cool. But then now I'm focusing on, I can't wait to be so cool. Being cool in the future. That's more or less the video for you guys. See you guys on the next one. Peace out. Bye.